Hey guys, Zach Swanson here again, PDGA number 112565. Gonna do a end of 2021, beginning of 2022 in the bag. I'm gonna take a couple discs out for the winter and put a couple in, so I'm gonna show you that simple process. But let's start out. I got a grip bag. I love it. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Let's get right into it. Putting putters. I used to putt with D-Line P2s, but I have made the switch to Millennium Omega 4s. These are the first run DT Lunar Glow plastic. They feel just like P-Line P2s, Glow P-Line P2s. They're amazing. They're readily available and, at retail price. I just trying to keep up cost-wise with the D-Line or P-Line P2s, it just got too expensive. So, matching pair of Omega 4s. Last putting putter is a D-Line P2. Super beat-in. I throw this a little bit, but use it more so for jump putts, step putts. It's got a little bit more glide because it's seasoned and finds the basket for me from long range. So, D-Line P2. Throwing putters. Glow Big Beat AVR. I've always had one in the bag and all my in the bags, and I always will. Glow Big Beat AVR, overstable. This one's starting to beat in a little bit and hold straight for longer, but it's got a consistent finish. We'll always have one in the bag. This is one of the only non-Innova manufactured discs in my bag. This is a 300 PA4 from Prodigy. This is understable as any putter I've ever thrown. Hyzer flip turns, spinning nose up like trying to throw in from like 120. This thing is money. I wish Innova made something comparable, but they don't. So it's in the bag. This is a DX AVR X3. Forehand and backhand, overstable approaches. Although on forehand it's more hyzer flip, but just a really controllable, touchy forehand approach disc. Then a couple more approaches. Got a Exosoft Tactic. This one's beaten in a lot. I probably will put a new one in the bag soon, but I really like the soft plastic. Just feels better, especially now that it's cold and snowy. So this thing is money, buttery, beat-in Exosoft Tactic. And then stepping up in stability, I've got a Metal Flake flat top Champion Gator with the Wraith die. Overstable, 99% forehand. Every once in a while I'll throw like a backhand spike shot with it, but most of the time I'm throwing this forehand approaches or short holes off the tee. 200, 240 is probably about as far as I can push this without too much trouble. Alright, on to mid-ranges. Got 4 in the bag, and it's probably the same 4 for the most part that I had the last in the bag. Same red Star Stingray, hyzer flip turns, lay off of it a bit and it'll go dead straight, but this is really like a super flippy mid-range. If you're just starting out and trying to learn how to throw straight, you can't go wrong with the Star Stingray as your go-to mid-range. A little bit more overstable than that, same probably DX Rock, nice and beat up. This one, hyzer flip, it's gonna ride right for a little while, but it's gonna probably finish back to the left if I don't throw it too hard. This thing is just buttery. I use it mostly carving straight lines in the woods. DX Rock, if you throw Innova, doesn't get much better. Stepping up in stability once again, pre-flight number Champion Shark. This thing's been in my bag for a while as well. Still pretty straight, stable. If I throw this hard and flat, it might turn a little bit, but it's gonna come out. I love the Champion Shark. Fantastic disc. This, I'm not even really sure what plastic it is. It's another Shark. It looks star plastic, but it's got some metal flakes in it. It's a beautiful disc. I just lost my pearly, really overstable Champion Shark. So I put this in the bag about a week and a half ago, and it's filling that slot really nicely. It feels like Champ plastic, but it's not opaque. It looks like star plastic with metal flakes in it, so I guess that's what it is. Second Shark. Stepping up to fairway drivers. Got a few in the bag right now. Go from most understable to most overstable. Millennium Sirius JLS. This is it flies like a beat-in Star T-Bird right out of the box. This one's the oldest. It's been in my bag the longest. So this is hyzer flip, hold turn. Really great for in the woods. Sirius JLS. Another Sirius JLS. This one's a little newer, a little bit more overstable. This one's like dead straight right now. I used to throw a lot of T-Birds, but I tried the JLS last year and I fell in love with it. Like I said, they're like money beat-in T-Birds right out of the box. Stepping up from there, we've got two Champion Eagles. This first one's the flippiest. Yeah, this is 12-time Pearly Champ Eagle X. It's got the more concave wing. This is like a little bit more overstable than that JLS. I throw this backhand and forehand. I really like this disc for like forehand hyzer flip up in the woods. This thing is money in the bank. Up from there in stability, another Champion Eagle X. This one might even be CE, that unpigmented CE, but I'm not really sure. It's 11-time era with patent numbers. This one's really beefy, a little bit domey. This is like my overstable 7-speed fairway driver, nice hyzers, 300, 320, just one of my favorite discs in the bag. But because of the color, I am pulling it out of the bag for the winter. I really don't want to lose it because I don't really have a backup for it right now. So that's going out of the bag, and instead I'm putting AJ Star T-Bird in the bag. I used to bag these. This used to be my main go-to fairway driver. 170 grams. This one's nice and overstable, so it should take the place of that one I just took out of my bag pretty nicely. My favorite fairway driver of all time is the 3-time Paul McBeth Champion Thunderbird. This one's a terrible color for the snow, but I don't have one to replace it. So we're gonna pray to God that we don't lose this in the snow this year. This is 350, 360 and in. Nice, consistent, dead straight with a nice hyzer finish on the end. Easily the best run of Champion Thunderbird, in my opinion. They're nice and flat, so they're comfortable forehand and backhand. They start out consistently overstable like Thunderbirds do, but as you beat them in, they hold nice straight or small S lines up to about, like I said, 350, 360. Champion Thunderbird. Okay, stepping up to utility discs. I have got a lot of utility discs in my bag. good reason. I love one of these molds a ton. So this first is my roller disc, get out of trouble free card. It's pre-flight number star sidewinder. I don't know how much this one weighs. This has been in my bag for a long time. You've probably seen it in my other in the bags. Roller disc, gets to the ground really easy. Get out of trouble shots. Gotta have something like that in your bag. Stepping up, we will go to the Maxes. Probably the same 3 Maxes I had in the bag last time. Actually, nope, not even. So this is the same pre-flight number. This is actually a first run Star Max. This is like a beat up Sexton Firebird at this point. It's so old, so seasoned. I get hyzer flip to stand up. Maybe it'll ride left, but it's always going to come out at the end because it's a Max. 175 grams, 97% forehand. Every once in a while, I'll throw a spike hyzer with it, but beat-in Star Max. Next up is a beat-up Champion Max. This one's a little domey. This is from the Asia Open, and it's one of the very few runs, if not the only run of Champion Maxes that doesn't have the bubbles in the rim. They had issues with the Max mold when it first came out, when they started making it in Champion plastic. They were having a hard time getting it to stay underweight, under 175 grams. So later runs all have blizzard rims, bubbles in the rim, whatever you want to call it. But this is super beat-in as well. This is also hyzer flip. It's a touch more overstable than that Star Max. I throw this probably 50-50 forehand, backhand. This is like my really smooth backhand spike hyzer. Really smooth forehand, like 275. Champion Max. I used to throw the Glow Maxes because they were a little bit more overstable than the Star, but a little less than the next Max I have. But I pulled this one in a trade, and as soon as I started throwing it, I knew it was going in the bag. Champion Max. Stepping up to the most overstable disc, other than the tilt. I will give the tilt a nod, but the most overstable disc made by any manufacturer, other than the tilt, the Metal Flake Max. This one's been in my bag for a long time as well. This is like, if I get this 250, I am stoked. I can really, this is like a 200 to 225, just super force over flex forehand and backhand shots, like low skipping hyzers. This thing is a beefcake and extremely valuable. So it's going out of the bag this winter as well. We're replacing it with just stock factory second flat Champion Max. This one's flat, firm, almost as overstable as that, probably close to as overstable, but this one has the bubbles in the rim, which does make it more overstable, which is why that last one isn't quite as overstable, because it doesn't have the bubbles in the rim. So replacing the Metal Flake with the Champion Max, and then next up is either a concrete or a Metal Flake C-Blend slab, infinite discs. This thing is nice and overstable. It's like your most beefy destroyer. I can throw this quite a bit further than the Maxes, but it's always either forehand or backhand. It's always gonna finish on hyzer. So super consistent. Gotta have one of those in the bag, something you can just pull out no matter the wind, and you know it's gonna get excuse me, you know it's gonna get left or get right depending on which direction. On to the distance drivers, and we're gonna be doing some major swapping out here. But first up, we have a Halo Wraith X out, 175 grams. This is nice and overstable, but workable. Doesn't go quite as far as my destroyers, but I've been looking for something in between, like a Thunderbird and a destroyer, and the Wraith was it for me. I used to throw a lot of Wraiths, but I kind of forgot about them when I fell in love with destroyers, and Super stoked on this disc. Gets me lots and lots of birdies. Oh, we lost Chewbacca. Where did we lose Chewbacca from? Ruh-roh. Okay, I'll fix that later. Next up is the Destroyers. This is a pre-flight number, bottom stamp, super flat, really flippy destroyer. This is like my max distance forehand destroyer or backhand roller destroyer. This thing bombs on a ton of hyzer, flips up, rides right, probably holds right. This is really, really flippy. That is a terrible color as well for the snow. So we'll be taking that out of the bag and we're going to replace it with this nice beat up Pop Top EchoStar destroyer. 175 grams on this bad boy. This is going to be my flippiest destroyer in my winter bag. Next up in stability, Pop Top 2-line AJ. Probably was in my last in the bag. This is my max distance bomber, hyzer flip turn, just absolute maximum distance destroyer. But I don't want to lose it. So, taking that out of the bag for the winter, we're going to put this Dayglow Pop Top AJ Era destroyer that I've had in and out of the bag over the years back in the bag for the winter. A little easier color to see, and I care a little bit less about losing it. But it does fly very similar to the yellow one. They're practically interchangeable. Next up in stability is a pre-flight number ESDS destroyer. This is a SDS EchoStar, the one Dave Feldberg raves about. And this is maybe actually my new farthest flying destroyer. These things just have a ton of glide. Forehand, backhand, they bomb. But it's gray, looks like dirty snow, and it's, you know, semi-valuable. So, it's going out of the bag. We're putting in this. This is just a tournament stamped EchoStar destroyer, not ESDS, just E-Star DS. 175 grams, just money Pop Top EchoStar destroyer. Gonna replace the ESDS. Next up in stability is this is a 3-line AJ. Horrible. The person I got this from tried to dye it. It was orange, and they did some black garbage dye. So I straight up just took a Sharpie, a few different colors, and just scribbled all over it so it was easier to see in the leaves this fall. Now that snow's on the ground, this is just a nice Pop Top overstable 3-line. Super consistent, hard and flat, and it's gonna finish. It always finishes, even into a headwind. Nice and beefy. And then Halo Destroyer. This is actually a first run F2 destroyer, nice and domey. I love my domey destroyers. Forehand, backhand, this thing is a beefcake, but it's got a ton of glide. I'd say it's actually a touch more overstable than the 3-line, but it goes farther because it's got, I don't know, the Halo's just got more glide. They're just money. So, Halo Destroyer. And my absolute bomber, open air, no trees in the way, no nothing. This is my maximum distance disc. I throw this thing farther than I can throw any other disc in my bag. It's an EchoStar Boss, patent number, kind of flat. It's almost Vulcan toppy, like those Vulcan top destroyers. But this thing, I just mash on it on a ton of hyzer, flips up, rides right. And if I catch it right, it's going to finish back. Sometimes it'll just tail off right. So it's a little uncontrollable in like a headwind or whatever. But in a nice stiff tailwind, this thing just mashes. So EchoStar Boss, I have a bunch of backups, so I'm not worried about losing this one. And the last thing that I'm switching out, I'm actually going to take out the Big Beat Aviar because of the color, and I'm putting in this C-Line P2. The only difference really between these two is this has a bead, big bead, and this doesn't. But they fly very similarly. They feel very similar in the hand. I don't notice a ton of difference. with the bead and without. This is just a nice, consistent, overstable off the tee putter. So that's what's in my bag. That's what came out and what's going in for the winter. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you out there.